I saw Young Pinch on Sunday. I'm like still shook about it. Like, I can't believe that, like, I saw him, like, in concert and I met him. It was so stressful, so that's what I'm here to talk about because y'all were like, spill the tea. So I was like, okay, I'll spill it for y'all. As y'all can see, I'm still wearing the makeup from Sunday night. I don't know how it's still like on my eyes. Like my eyebrows, like I still have like the foundation on and everything. I don't know how because I like sleep in my makeup. I don't like take it off. I just sleep because I don't have time to take it off. I'm like too tired for that. So anyway, so Young Pinch was having a concert down in Ybor, and so my mom and I went, and we had to drive all the way down to Ybor, and the place he was performing at was called the Crowbar. I couldn't, my GPS took us to the wrong place because the address they have is wrong because it wasn't where it said it was. So we ended up lost in Ybor for like 20 to 30 minutes looking for this place, and then we finally found it because it was next to the museum down in Ybor. Anyone who doesn't live in Florida, Ybor City is like very historic. It's been there for years, and there's just like clubs and bars and hookah shops. It's just like a party place, but then it's like really old too. I don't know how to like explain it to people that don't live here. So anyway, we find the place, right? So we go to park, and we parked like probably like a block away. Not really a block, I don't know. We weren't far from it, but it was like a good 2-minute walk, so it wasn't too bad. So we pull into this parking area, and there was his tour bus, and I was like, Mom, we gotta park here, you know? So his tour bus is parked, and we park like across from it. We're not next to it, we're like across from it. I'm like, oh my god. So we we both had to pee, and there was nowhere to pee, so we had a cup and we were like peeing in it. I know that's probably gross, but we had nowhere to go. So, and the train went by in front of us. It was an Amtrak. It was so cool. I was shook because I've never been that close to a train. Like, here in Florida we have trains, but like I'm never near them, so it was cool because in Ybor the track is right there. So then I was like, Mom, I want you to take my picture in front of the tour bus. She was like, okay. So I go and I stand in front of it, and it was so cool. Like, I'm getting like my heart, like, because like it's like reliving it. So I go and I stand in front of the bus, and she takes my picture, and there was a guy, like in Ybor you have to pay like machines like in New York to park. It's like a parking meter, and you have to pay everywhere in Ybor. It doesn't matter where you park. So the guy, he was like this, he was an older black man, and he was like, I need y'all to pay right now. It like dead ass, that's how he sounded. He was like, if you guys don't pay, I'm gonna give you a ticket. And then my mom was like, I'm taking her picture, like I'm gonna pay for it. So, you know, she finishes taking my picture, and he's like, I need y'all to pay right now. And my mom's like, okay. So she starts walking over to the guy, and multiple people had gone in and out of his tour bus. And I was like, he's not in there because he's doing the meet and greet, which I was late for. So at this point I was like, I just want to get into the concert, you know, because at least I'll be able to see him in concert and blah blah blah, because I was late to the meet and greet. So, which was before the show. So I was like, ugh. So we get where, you know, multiple people step off the bus, and this guy comes out. It's one of his dudes, and then he stepped out right after, and I went, oh my god. I went, oh, and he was like, yo, what's up? And I went, oh my god. And he was laughing, and he was like smiling at me, and I was going, oh my god, oh my god. And he was just like laughing, and I was like, stop laughing at me, like I'm shook that you're right here. And my mom was like, she was shook too, and I'm going, oh my god. Like, I know he doesn't like to be called Blake, but I was like, oh my god, it's Blake, it's Blake. He doesn't like to be called Blake. And I was like, oh. So then all of us were like walking to like the parking meter, and the old black guy was like, okay, y'all need to pay, where are you going? Talking about Young Pinch. And his managers are like, we gotta walk him to the venue down there. And he's like, no, y'all are gonna pay first. And Pinch was like, yo, you trying to start something right now? Like, you trying to fade? Like, he was dead ass gonna fight this old ass black dude. And his manager, who also happened to be black, was like, dude, I'll just pay you right here, let me get the money. And they were like, walk him down. So they walk Pinch away, and he's cussing them out. He's going, these motherfuckers, and he's cussing them out, whatever. And so we're at the parking meter, and my mom had cash, so she goes to put in $10, wouldn't take her cash, so she gets out her card, wouldn't take her card. So the guy resets the whole parking meter, still wouldn't take the money. The parking meter still would not take her money. And she was like, what do I do if I don't pay it? And he's like, you're gonna get a ticket. And then she was like, how much is it? He was like, it's only $35. A $35 ticket? That's... whatever. So my mom's like, you know what? Screw it. So she walked away. Well, actually, so before we walked away, since his manager was standing there, I was like, am I able to pay for the meet and greet tickets right now? And he's like, you'd have to leave like right now, and I know y'all are trying to pay to park, and that would suck if y'all got a ticket. And then I was like, well, and he was like, do you want like the sweatshirt and all that, like the poster and his autograph? I was like, no, I just want to meet him and take a picture. And then he was like, oh, well, what you could do is come back here after the concert, like be here waiting for us, and then I'll make sure that you get a picture with him. And I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, my god, thank you. And he was like, no, I got you, just be here like when before the concert ends, like make sure you're here early, so because like he's gonna be tired and everything. And I was like, oh my gosh. So then we walked away, and we go and we're waiting in line. Everybody that came early enough, because a lot of people came late, like all the hood rats and stuff, like y'all came late, but everybody else, like general admission, there was probably like 15 of us that didn't have the VIP. So all the VIP people were inside, and they had all taken up the front of the stage already, and I was like, oh my god, wow. So we go in, and it was $20, and if you weren't 21, it was a $2 extra fee. I guess it was the venue, and they X'd me. That's what they do at a club. If you're not legal, they X you so you can't go up there and get a drink and be like, well, I'm 21. I'm not trying to drink anyway, because I'm not like, yes, I would drink, but I'm not legal, so I'm not trying to get in trouble for that, So we go, and they had 2 opening acts. I don't even remember the first guy's name, and I feel bad because he was really trying to get the crowd hype, and he was cute and everything, but he smelled like weed, and nobody knew who he was. But then the second guy came out, Tyler. He was a black rapper with dreads. I only knew who he was because he was opening up for Young Pinch. And these performances were hours apart. Like, Young Pinch didn't come out till like 8 o'clock, and the concert started at 7. And I was like, what? Like, we waited for hours. It was like meeting Taylor Kniff, where I stand in line for hours and get 2 minutes with him. It was ridiculous. So, Tyler put on a good show. They played X. There was a mosh pit, multiple, and I almost got trampled. It was so bad. Like, oh my god, it was just so bad. Like, there wasn't many hood rats though, which I was happy because, I mean, that would have sucked because hood rats don't like me and they have problems with me. So anyway, Young Pinch finally comes out, and the concert was going really, really great. And he kept coming to where I was at, and I was lit, and he played like all my favorite songs, whatever. And then at the end, not the end of the concert, but where I left, because I didn't finish the second half of the concert. I only stayed for the first half because I was gonna wait at that bus to go meet him. So he was like, whoever's the most lit during this next song, I'm gonna give y'all my motherfucking shoe, right? And I was jumping up and down. I was so lit. I was the littest bitch in this like this venue, this little bar, whatever it was. Shh. I was the littest mug in there. And then he came over to where I was, held the shoe up like this, and I'm ready to catch it, and two dudes elbowed me for it. Like in the shoulder, in the neck, they elbowed me for it. I'm surprised I don't have bruises because they literally, when I saw them like go like this so they could get the shoe, I cowered, and then they took it, I guess, because I didn't see, because I was like this. I was like, wow. So then my mom was like, we're done. And I was done at that point because the guy that was standing next to me, he kept like pushing me and elbowing me, and he was just like so annoying. And I was like, I'm a female. You don't do that to a female. Like maybe a dude, push him over, but I am a female. I am 10 times smaller than you. There is no need. So after that, my mom was like, we're done. So we left and went out of the bar and headed back to the tour bus. And then, because he had walked off stage after he chucked his shoes into the audience. So my mom was like, he's done anyway. And I was like, I don't think so. Turns out he wasn't done. He had like 30 or 40 minutes of performance left. So we were sitting out there, and there was this guy. He got kicked out because during one of the mosh pits, he got punched in the face. And he fought back, but they threw him out instead of the guy that punched him. He was really drunk, and he was just talking to us. And he was like, I'm going to meet Young Pinch too because I got kicked out and I paid for my money. Blah, blah, blah. And when we got back to my mom's car, she had a ticket on her windshield. And she was like, they gave me a fucking ticket. She was so mad. Like, that old man was like, I'm giving her a ticket, and stuck it right on her car. I was like, so, my mom has a $35 ticket to pay, and she's fighting it. Like, she's mad because she could have left the money with the guy, but he wouldn't take it. And it was like, how petty are you gonna be? Like, she's seriously offering you the money. But after the drunk guy, and after she found out she had a ticket, a bunch of people started coming to where his tour bus was, which I don't know how they knew where it was, because it was like, I think it was at least a block away from the actual bar that he was performing in, or the club, whatever. Because in Ybor, it's just bars, clubs, bar, clubs. So when people come to perform, like in Tampa, and they're not big enough to fill Amalie Arena, which is the huge arena in downtown Tampa, they go to little bars and shops in Ybor. There's bars, there's clubs, whichever, suits you. In Tampa, that's just where you have to go because it's the only place. Like, you have to go to Ybor if you come to Tampa. So his bus was literally parked a block away, and all these people started coming. And what the thing was, what was taking him so long was after the show, he was meeting everyone that was still in the bar. But I didn't want to do that because that line would have been really long. And I just was like, I'll just meet him at the bus. Like, nobody knows. There were all these people coming back to where his bus was parked, and they had already met him inside the bar. And it was like, my mom was literally telling him, if you already met him, go home. And there were like people literally walking away, like she worked for Young Pinch. It was hilarious. She literally had people walking away, and they were all dressed like, I'm sorry, but all of these girls were dressed like hoe bags. Like, they really wanted to be a groupie and put out. And I was like, honey, calm down. Like, all you gotta do is put a little bit of makeup on and, yeah, my shirt, there was cleavage showing. You could see my bra, but I had jeans on. So, like, it covered. I didn't look like a hoe, okay? My mom would never let me leave the house, and I would never leave the house looking like one. So anyway, there's a bunch of people, and then as soon as he came around the corner, everybody was like, they were beginning to crowd him a little bit, and the manager and the other guys were like, all right, form a line, and then everybody will get to meet him. Everybody got in front of me, and I was the closest to him, and my mom went, nope, and she grabbed me and pulled me to the front of the line, and Pinch was like, he was looking at the ground like, oh my god. And then I walked up and he was like, hey, what's up? And then I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, can I have a hug? And he was like, yeah. And then he gave me a hug. And like, like when he got off the bus the first time, he smelled like weed. And I know he smokes. I know he's a stoner. Like, it doesn't bother me. But this, like, when I hugged him, he didn't smell like weed. And he didn't smell like sweat, like he had just got off stage. It was just like, he smelled like a normal person. And it was just like, oh my God. And then I was like, oh, can we get a picture? And he was like, yeah. And then like he put his arm, like, I can't do it, but like I'm gonna have the picture up like at the end of the video because I don't know how to edit and put the picture like here or there. So I'll have to figure that out. It'll probably be at the end, or I'll leave a link to it in my Instagram. I don't know. I'll figure it out. It's probably just gonna be at the end. And because he had like his arm, like, I can't do it, whatever. So he had his arm like around me, and like I was like hugging him, but it was really cute, whatever. And then I was like, bye, thank you. And he was like, thank you for coming. Like, he literally did that. I was like, oh my shit, like I was dying. And then like I just sat in the car and was like admiring him until he got on the bus. And then like I was like, okay, mom, leave before like I go back on the bus. And I'm like, hey, like knocking on the door. So all in all, it was my first rap concert. It was so much fun. Like, I was lit, like the most lit I'd ever been, because the past 2 concerts I went to before were Big Time Rush and One Direction. Yes, it's been that long since I've been to a concert. It's bad because concerts, they want so much money. It's ridiculous. Like, it doesn't matter who you're gonna see, they charge way too much. So for my first rap concert, it was, you know, it was so much fun. I was very lit. Like, I was jumping up and down because like Big Time Rush and One Direction, I was crying the whole concert. So like, just because I was like in the same area with them, like, oh my God, like as soon as Harry Styles stepped out on stage, I was crying. But enough about that, because that's like, it's nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But there's nothing really more other than what I've said and everything. Y'all wanted tea and I spilt it, just like, you know, I gave y'all some other content about how my bed was stolen. So that's pretty much all the tea. But I recommend next time Young Pinch is in your area, you definitely should go see him. Even if you only know like a few songs, which I don't know all his music, like his newer stuff, I don't know. I know a lot of his older stuff, so a lot of the stuff I did not know. But it doesn't matter because I was still having so much fun. And I've been following him since like last year when he, I only know who he is because of Dylan Francis. Him and Dylan Francis did a song together called Hello There. It's EDM because of Dylan Francis, but then Young Pinch is a rapper, so it's like EDM rap, but then it's got like a very tropical beat to it. Like, it's something you would hear like at the beach or at an island, and it's, oh my God, because Young Pinch is that kind of guy. Like, he's from California, and a lot of his songs deal with him being at the beach or smoking a blunt or just skateboarding around. Like, it's just some of them, not all of them. I don't want to jump to conclusions because they're not all like that. But that's pretty much all the tea. I'm still starstruck that I met Young Pinch. Anyway, say hi, Zana. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this. I hope y'all enjoy my stories. I hope y'all enjoy Zana, because apparently she's in this video again. She's just always in here when I film. I try to make her be quiet, but she doesn't, so. Anyone that doesn't know, this is Zana. She's my cat, whatever. So, yeah, I saw Young Pinch. Like, I woke up this morning and I just like started crying because like I couldn't believe that like it actually happened. Like, I can't, but that's it. Like, I don't have, there's no more tea.